And that breaking news, the Milwaukee Bucks at this moment about to hold a news conference at the BMO Harris Bradley Center where they're expected to announce the team has been sold. Of course, I'm joined with sports director Dan Needles, and ESPN is reporting the buyers are two hedge fund billionaires.
A couple of guys that we don't know a lot about, Wesley Edens and Mark Lasry. We will probably hear from them today, I'm assuming, along with Senator Herb Kohl. According to ESPN, he will retain a significant interest in the team, but is selling the Bucks for $550 million. He, of course, bought the team for $18 million back in 1985, so that's a pretty good profit, and it comes on the final day of the season for the Bucks, the worst season in franchise history.
That's right, and we're talking about the franchises in general right now. They're at the bottom as far as Forbes is concerned, as far as estimated value. We're going to go ahead and listen into that news conference now.
I feel very strongly about the value of this building to the community here and to the state of Wisconsin, as well as our main tenant, the Milwaukee Bucks. With an exciting announcement today about the future of the team, I'd like to introduce someone who has been a game changer here in this state for many, many years, as a businessman, as an owner, as a philanthropist, and as a public servant. So it's my privilege and my honor to introduce to you the CEO and President of the Milwaukee Bucks, Senator Herb Kohl.
Thank you. Thank you, Mark, and thank you all for being here today. Today we are announcing great news for the Milwaukee Bucks, for the greater Milwaukee community, and indeed for the entire state of Wisconsin. We're following through on an announcement that we made just a few months ago that we were launching an effort to find additional investors in the Bucks to help strengthen the franchise and keep it rooted here in Milwaukee. As you know, I was born and raised in this city and have lived here all my life. Being part of the effort to bring the NBA franchise here originally and then keeping it here has been a big part of my adult life. I have owned the Bucks for more than 29 years, and our fans, our business partners, and my colleagues at the Bucks have been on my mind and in my heart every day. So I hope you understand why this process was and is so important to me, and why I was not going to make a move unless I was convinced that it was the right one. I'm pleased to announce that we have been successful. This process started late last year when I asked Steve Greenberg of Allen & Company to help me to look for financially capable investors who shared my love of the game and who shared my commitment to keep the Bucks in Milwaukee. Working with Steve and his colleagues at Allen & Company on a daily basis, I believe we did a great job in finding the two gentlemen that I am pleased to introduce to you here today. I can tell you that there was a lot of interest in the Bucks, and a large number of highly qualified potential investors emerged. The process evolved along the way, but most important to me was finding investors who shared my commitment to keeping the Bucks in this city. The two men I will be introducing today know Milwaukee and know that this area and this state have great sports fans who deserve an NBA franchise and a championship caliber team. They also know how much I love Milwaukee and how important I believe the Bucks are to the future of this entire region and to our state. They understand, and we've come to agree, that in order to keep our franchise here, we need to get to a 21st century sports and entertainment center in a timely manner. I believe these two men are the right people and the right fit at the right time. Both men are familiar with the sports landscape in Wisconsin and have attended sporting events in both Milwaukee and Green Bay. In fact, one of them has roots in Wisconsin, as his mother was born and educated here, and he currently employs 700 people in Wisconsin through business dealings. So today we are announcing that we have entered into a signed purchase agreement for these two fine gentlemen that will transfer full ownership of the Milwaukee Bucks subject to league approval. The process will not be completed until the agreement is reviewed by the NBA and voted on by the Board of Governors, but this is a major step forward in my goal of keeping the Bucks here. So now I would like to introduce our new prospective owners and ask them to say a few words. Please join me in what I see as the grand opening of a new era for the Milwaukee Bucks and welcoming Wes Edens and Mark Lasry to the BMO Harris Bradley Center and to Milwaukee.
Thank you very much, Senator, and thanks for the kind words, but also thanks for the incredible teamwork you've shown in the process we've gone through these last few months for you and all the members of your team. It's been a very competitive process, and we are delighted to be sitting where we are right now as the prospective owners. On behalf of myself and Mark, we would like to thank Senator Cole for the stewardship he has provided this city. He's a crazed Bucks fan, and he's all about the team and the community and winning, and he's really been a terrific inspiration as we've gone through this process, and we couldn't be happier more. So first of all, thank you very much, Senator. Mark and I are very excited to join Bucks fans, the city of Milwaukee, and the citizens of the state of Wisconsin. As the senator said, my mom was born and raised in Wisconsin. I'm from Montana originally. I have a lot of roots in the Midwest and in this part of the state, and I'm delighted to be fortunate enough to be standing here talking about owning prospectively the franchise of the Bucks. So we're very excited about that. Mark and I are lifelong basketball fans. We're competitive guys, and we've had a lot of fun with basketball over the years. We spent a lot of time on the sidelines watching our daughters play basketball. Two of them are here with us today. And we are really looking forward to the experience of being an owner. And as the Senator said, this is a new stage for the Bucks. It's a new stage for the arena and the facility that we expect to be building here, and are delighted to be entering into that process. It really is. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to be an owner of an NBA team on day one. It's also a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to build a facility. That, of course, is something that's a big collaborative process with government and with the citizens and all the people on the team and whatnot. And we are delighted to be at the beginning part of this. We have a big vision for the Bucks, as we've had in our own businesses. Mark and I, we joke about being the luckiest guys in the world. We've been very fortunate in our businesses. We worked very hard and have been the beneficiaries of a lot of good things. And we are very, very inspired to be carrying that forward here today. Milwaukee fans deserve a winning team. This is about winning basketball games. It's about winning championships. It's about being part of the community, and we look forward to all those. And so with that, let me introduce my friend, Mark Lasry.
One, I'd like to echo what Wes said. I'd like to thank the Senator. He's been a true gentleman throughout this whole process, and it's been really an honor and a pleasure to get to know him. The other people I'd like to thank is really you. I think for Wes and I, and Wes said it, it really is a dream come true. I mean, we couldn't be more excited to be a part of what's going to happen, to be the owners of, hopefully the owners of the new team, of our team, and then to hopefully build an arena here with the city. I think for us, I think one of the things hopefully you'll see is that we have a strong desire, I think at times an insane desire to succeed. And we're going to try to establish that and do that here with the Bucks and try to build, hopefully as Wes said, over the course of the next 5-10 years, bring a championship to this city and try to keep on building and become a part of the community that we have, that you guys have here. So I think for us, I just wanted to say thank you. It's a real honor, and hopefully over the next few months, few years, I'll get to know everybody who's here, because we're going to be spending a huge amount of time in this city, and I'd like to get to know as many people as we can. So again, thank you very much for your time, and thank you, Senator, for everything that you've done.
Thank you. Thank you, Senator Cole. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Wes. Under the current terms of the purchase and sale agreement, Wes and Mark have agreed to purchase the team for a sales price of approximately $550 million. In addition, Mark and Wes have committed, understanding how important a new arena is to the future of this franchise and this city, have committed to help to fund a new arena with an investment of at least $100 million. Thank you. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Wes. That is a huge, huge commitment for our city and for the state of Wisconsin. It will present opportunities, obviously, for the future that are enormous and will certainly help our community in years and years and decades to come. I have even more good news for you today, as if that wasn't good enough. As you know, Senator Cole has been somebody who has made an incredibly positive impact on our state and our community over many years, as a public servant in Washington for us, as a United States Senator, as representing all the folks here, as a businessman, as a wonderful businessman, and as a philanthropist over the years, and has done great things as a philanthropist. And, you know, as Churchill once said, we make a living by what we get, we make a life by what we give. And so today, Senator Cole is going to continue that philanthropy by making a gift of $100 million toward a new arena. And I want to emphasize the word gift. Senator Cole is not going to own the team anymore. This will be a true gift to the community. And I'd like to personally, and on behalf of the BMO Harris Bradley Center Board, the greater Milwaukee community, thank Senator Cole for all he's done over the years to keep Milwaukee a major league city and for his future efforts to continue to keep us a major league city. I now would like to read a statement from MDA Commissioner Adam Silver. As a public servant, philanthropist, and owner of the Bucks, Senator Herb Cole has an extraordinary impact on his home city of Milwaukee and the state of Wisconsin. His historic and unprecedented $100 million gift to the city of Milwaukee to secure the future of this franchise emphatically underscores his passion, commitment, and generosity to his community. So once again, let's give Senator Cole a round of applause. And now I would like to introduce our mayor,